Namaste, Masters. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Namaste, Ruchi ji, Suresh here.
Yes, Namaste, Sureshi. Namaste.
Yeah, voice is very audible, clear.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Masters, let me know who has the book Autobiography of a Yogi with them right now. Great, Anaji, I can see you. And does anyone else also has the book with them? I could only see Anaji with the book. So, Masters, it is always advisable to have the book with you, because having the book in hand and using all your physical senses, it gives a very different experience when you read the words from this book with your eyes, when you touch the book, when you feel this book, then you can also feel the vibrations from this book, which will give you totally different experience. So I highly recommend that you have the book with you, and also simultaneously you read from this book, so that you have a very enlightening experience. And Masters, now who's going to tell me on which chapter are we from the book Autobiography of a Yogi? Anaji, can you just, if you could, it would be very kind if you could just name the chapters that we are on.
I think we finished 11th and 12th. So we're on 13th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
Okay, so 13th is the Sleepless Saint in the red version of this book. And I guess we did speak about the Sleepless Saint in the last session.
Yeah.
So we are on chapter number
14, I think.
Yes, yes. Very nice, Anaji. We are on chapter number 14 from this book, which is An Experience in Cosmic Consciousness. And today we will be covering chapter number 14, 15, the cauliflower robbery, and 16, which is Outwitting the Stars. So I read the message of Sri Kalaji, who's saying that the online version they are using. Will you please tell me again the book title? Chetna ji is asking. Book title means we are having this session of the book Autobiography of a Yogi, Chetna ji. If I have understood your question correctly, do you want to ask something else or? Okay. So Masters, as always, so Chetna ji, can you please come on the video and put your question forward, because I'm not able to understand your question from the chat.
Hello, Ruchi ji.
Yes, Chetna ji.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Actually, the book you were talking about, not the autobiography of Yogi ji, the earlier one which you said.
Earlier one.
Yeah. You are telling the same book. Actually, some net problem was there, so I was not able to hear you.
No, we're
that
only talking about the one book, which is Autobiography of a Yogi only. There's no other book which we have spoken about.
Fine, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So, Masters, as always, let's pay our gratitude and humble reverence to the Divine Mother, to Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahasyaji, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, and Paramahansa Yogananda ji. And I will request you to Please close your eyes for a few moments. So that we are able to pay our gratitude and reverence to Swami Sri Yukteswarji, whose wisdom, whose teachings we will be receiving today. And may we all are able to integrate the wisdom and the guidance that we receive through Swami Sri Yukteswarji in our minds, in our hearts, in our lives. So let's take few moments to settle our minds, to make some space in us to receive that wisdom. I request you all to please close your eyes just for a few moments.
Om Shri Yukteswar, 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 Om
Yes, Masters, we are back now. And let's start with today's session. Yes, Masters. So now let's start with today's session, Masters. And so, Masters, in the last session, I'll just very briefly go about what we discussed in the last session. And if any one of you wants to do that, please, you're most welcome to very briefly state what we discussed in the last session. Please raise your hand or please unmute yourself and go ahead if you want to take that initiative. Okay. Okay, then I'll do that. So in the last session, we learned, Masters, that how this deep longing desire of Yogananda to go to the Himalayas and gain wisdom and experience the divinity there, it got banished when he met the great enlightened saint Ram Gopal Mazumdar, and who was also known as the sleepless saint. And Ram Gopal Mazumdar very beautifully explained to Yogananda that your guru is all that you need, and the mountains cannot give you that experience. They cannot give you that wisdom, that knowledge that you are seeking. Only your guru can give you that. And then Yogananda, he realized his mistake, and then he now goes back to his ashram of his guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar. So now Yogananda is thinking that Swami Sri Yukteswar, he must be so angry with him. Why? Because Yogananda had left the ashram of his guru quite abruptly. Because when we are living in an ashram, then we are bestowed with certain duties and responsibilities. And when we just abruptly go away from that ashram, then, it creates a chaotic situation in that ashram. And so Yogananda was thinking that the guru must be angry with him for leaving so abruptly. But when he reached there, he was surprised that Swami Sri Yukteswar, he behaved so normally and he behaved in such a calm manner as if nothing had ever happened. And quite astonished Yogananda, he said to his guru, and I quote, that in this world, even a father does not easily forgive his son if he leaves his parents' business without warning. But you show not the slightest vexation, that is, the state of being annoyed or frustrated, though you must have been put to great inconvenience by the many unfinished tasks that are left behind. And Swami Sri Yukteswarji, he very calmly said, and I quote, that anger stems where there is expectation, and I do not expect anything from others, so their actions cannot be in opposition of mine. I would also not use you for my own ends. I am happy only in your own true happiness. So, friends, this is such a, yet again, a profound and a beautiful experience that Yogananda, he underwent in his own life with his guru. As in our lives too, we sometimes carry expectations, carry expectations from life, from others, that certain things should happen in a certain way, that certain people should behave in a certain way. We have expectations in each and everything from life. And when things don't go as expected, then this leads to frustration, it leads to anger, and we become disillusioned, and we then deviate from our path because of that anger. So this episode, friends, it so beautifully teaches us that like Sri Yukteswar, we should not have any expectations from others, that each one has this will to decide his own course of life, And when we let go of these expectations, then we too can lead a life free from anger and conflict and embrace that selfless love and happiness, just as Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji. So Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji had absolutely no expectations from Yogananda. He just wanted his best for his disciple, and at the same time, he never intervened in the free will of Yogananda. So moving forward with the book, friends, now comes the moment when Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, he tells Yogananda that his heart's desire shall now be fulfilled. And we know that Yogananda's heart desire had been to experience cosmic consciousness. It had been to experience that divinity within himself. And so one day, Yogananda ji, he was meditating, and then Swami Sri Yukteswar ji called him that you please come to me. And Yogananda ji was clueless on why his guru is calling him. And then Swami Sri Yukteswar ji disclosed that now is the time for you to experience divinity. Now you're ready for that experience in your life. And then Swami Sri Yukteswar ji, he gently touched Yogananda on his chest, above his heart area. And then what Yogananda ji experienced next was something like an immense joy broke upon his soul. He was one with God. The blissful nectar pulsated throughout his body. You know, we say that it is ras, it is amrit when one experiences God. Then the same amrit, then the same nectar, the same ras, it flowed in the entire body of Yogananda. And you know, that experience of vastness, that experience of being one with the divine, it was so blissful. It was beyond words. It was, at that time, Yogananda had no breath. He had no consciousness of anything. And it was some time that Yogananda was one with God. And then after some time, he started feeling his breath. Just like when we do meditation, and when we go into deep states of meditation, we lose the awareness of our breath. And then when we come back from a superconscious state, then we start feeling our breath. So similarly, Yogananda ji also, after some time, he started feeling his breath, and now he was aware that he is back into his body after having that divine experience. And Yogananda ji, he was all, his eyes were welled up with tears to have this profound experience, and he prostrated himself at the holy feet of his Guru for this experience where he had found God, where he became one with God. And Sri Yukteswar ji, he also taught Yogananda on how to summon this blessed experience at will whenever Yogananda ji desires, and also on how to transmit this divine experience to others, so that others who are ready could also experience this divine experience. So friends, in this way, Yogananda ji's deep desire for what he had, you know, thought that this experience would only be found in the Himalayas. So this, his own guru, he gave him this experience of experiencing the divine within himself. And when I read this, friends, I was so touched by this profound guru-disciple relationship, which was shared by Yogananda and Swami Sri Yukteswar ji. You know, this experience was beyond the relationship that is shared by guru and disciple. It was enveloped with unconditional love. You know, it had no strings attached. It had no conditions attached with it. It was enveloped only with divine love. You know, as I always talk about, that we have various forms of love. We have motherly love, we have fatherly love, we have love that is a romantic love. You know, so all these love, they are governed by some strings. Like we know that when we have a romantic partner, then we are attracted, maybe we are attracted to the beauty, maybe we have some physical needs that we know that they'll be satisfied by that person. So these are conditions, these are strings attached in a romantic relationship. And when we talk about fatherly love, then we know that fatherly love is the love which is governed by logic, by reasoning, by providing protection to one's children. And then we have motherly love, which is unconditional. So no matter how much mistakes a child does, a mother still showers her love to her children. So we know that a motherly love is said to be closer or closest to the divine love. So the relationship between Swami Sri Yukteswar ji and Yogananda ji, it was enveloped with divine love. And now let's move forward a bit with the book. Now we also know that Yogananda ji, he was pursuing his bachelor's from Calcutta University along with his discipleship under the guidance of his guru. And there are many interesting narratives of Yogananda with his beloved guru Swami Sri Yukteswar ji. And I will share a very fascinating incident. So what happened once was that while Yogananda ji was in his guru's ashram, so he presented a gift of 6 cauliflowers to his guru. And these cauliflowers, they were planted and they were nurtured by Yogananda ji himself. And his guru Swami Sri Yukteswar ji, he said that you keep these 6 huge cauliflowers in your own room, that is Yogananda ji's room, as they shall be needed the next day for some special dinner. So Yogananda, he abided by his guru's wish. So he kept all the 6 cauliflowers in his own room under the bed. So the next morning, as a ritual, what they used to do in the ashram, that every morning they used to go for a walk by the seaside. And so this happened the next day also, that all of them, Yogananda ji, Swami Sri Yukteswar, as well as the other disciples, they all went for a walk by the sea. And Swami Sri Yukteswar ji, he said to Yogananda that your 6 cauliflowers will soon be 5, as you have forgotten to lock the back door of the ashram. So now Yogananda ji had, by mistake, he had forgotten to lock the back door of the hermitage. And now his 6 cauliflowers were lying in his room under the bed. And now what happened, friends, are exactly at the same time, a peasant, he was passing by the road, a farmer, he was passing by the road. And now instead of taking a turn, he moved back towards the ashram door, which was unlocked, as Yogananda had forgotten to lock that door. And then out of all the rooms, he entered Yogananda's room, and there's more surprise to come. That is, out of all the money, watch, and other expensive things that laid very explicitly in his room, the peasant, he looked only under the bed just to take away that 1 cauliflower. So friends, this whole plot of the cauliflower robbery, it was devised by Swami Sri Yukteswar ji, because before this incident even happened, Swami Sri Yukteswar, he told Yogananda that since you forgot to lock your ashram door, now your 6 cauliflowers will soon be 5. And now Yogananda, he was completely baffled, just as we are. And he asked his guru that, how do you know the course of events in advance, and that too with so much precision? And then his guru explained that there are a number of hidden laws which science is yet to understand. Just as we tune our radio to a particular frequency when we want to hear a specific channel, in the similar manner, thoughts are subtle vibrations which are moving in ether, which are moving in space, and when we tune into the correct vibration, then we can get to know what is going on in anyone's mind, living or dead. So friends, Swami Sri Yukteswar, by tuning into the thought frequency of that peasant, he was able to so effortlessly put this thought in the mind of the peasant that he should go to the ashram and enter a particular room and look under the bed just for that cauliflower. Isn't it so fascinating and intriguing, friends? And hopefully science will someday also discover these hidden laws of how the vibrations work, of how the thought works, of how the telepathy works. So science has a lot of catching up to do. What our saints, they knew hundreds and thousands of years back. We know that although science is doing a lot of advancements in terms of technology since we have AI, but still, what is science dealing in is matter. Science is yet to uncover so many aspects which are related to vibrations, to energy, to frequencies. And now, so now Yogananda, while he was in the company of his Guru Swami Sri Yukteswar, he experienced some life-changing lessons, some enriching episodes, and of course the unmatched knowledge of his divine Guru, who was also known as India's Gyan Avatar. So Swami Sri Yukteswar, he was also known as India's Gyan Avatar or incarnation of wisdom, because he was so knowledgeable, he had so much wisdom. That is why he was known as the incarnation of wisdom. So what happened was that one day Swami Sri Yukteswar, he asked Yogananda to wear an astrological armband. And Yogananda said that I don't believe in astrology, so I don't think that it's a good idea to wear an armband. And to this Swami Sri Yukteswar, he said to Yogananda that it's not a question of belief, and that one should always be open and should take a scientific approach on any subject and should ask whether it is true. Just like we have the law of gravitation. So this law of gravitation, it worked beautifully before Newton discovered it, as it did afterwards. So what Swami Sri Yukteswar ji is saying is that, when we have certain laws of the universe, they will work. And they'll not depend upon our beliefs, on our sanctions or on our approval. These are laws and they will work. So even if science hasn't discovered them so far, it doesn't, so these laws are not dependent upon anything. And they'll work irrespective of anyone's beliefs. So, in other words, Swami Sri Yukteswar ji is telling that whether we believe in certain things or not, they will still continue to function as they don't require our consent or our approval to operate. That is, we should always have an open mind to see things. And, so, he's saying two things. That is, first is that we should always have an open mind to experiment ourselves that whether it is true. And he's also saying that we should, we should not outrightly reject things, saying that since it didn't happen to me, I won't accept it. So one should always have a scientific approach and one should ask whether it is true or whether it can be true. And then Masters Swami Sri Yukteswar ji, he was also an acclaimed astrologer. And his knowledge in astrology, it was so deep that he could predict anything with precise accuracy. So he shared a very interesting thing about astrology, and he said that a child is not born just at any date or any time. It is only when the position of planets and stars are in harmony with reference to individual's karma, only then the birth happens. So, we all know that when we make our astrological chart, then we give two things, which is the date and the time. And then we get our astrological chart made, which tells about a past, about a present, and about a future. Because Swami Shri Yukteswarji is saying that the birth of the child doesn't happen at any random time. No, it will only happen when the position of the planets, when the position of the stars are in alignment, are in harmony with the person's karma. So he said that this astrological chart, it can be rightly interpreted by people not only who have a good astrological knowledge, but they should also have a intuitive wisdom. Only, then they will be able to read these charts accurately. So he's saying that the knowledge of only astrology is not enough. One should also be intuitive if one has to read these charts with precision. And then a very beautiful thing about astrological charts, which Swami Shri Yukteswar said, that these astrological charts, they are not made to depict fate, which is a result of our past good or bad actions. But he said that the real purpose of these charts is to arouse this will in man to liberate himself from the vicious cycle of suffering, from the vicious cycle of life and death. So, he's saying that whatever one has done in the past is done. We cannot undo it. What we have done in the past, like let's talk from this moment onwards. What we have done in the past, we cannot undo it. What we have done in our past lifetimes, we cannot undo it. We cannot change it. But since we are the ones who did it, so we only have this power and we only have this capacity to overcome any limitation or any challenge that we are facing because of those past karmas. And how we can do that? With the help of the spiritual resources that we are given, which are not subject to any planetary pressure. And what are these spiritual resources? So Swami Shri Yukteswarji mentioned that we have meditation, we have astrological gemstones, which can help us to get past all our limitations, which are not subject to any planetary pressure. And about meditation, we all are aware, masters, that how powerful meditation is and what can meditation do in one's life. We know that when we meditate, then we realize our unity with the spirit. And our individual consciousness, it gets united with the cosmic consciousness. And we realize that the ultimate reality, that man is a soul and that man has been given this body to work out his karma, and that he has taken multiple births and that he will take multiple births in the future as well. And so meditation makes him realize this ultimate reality. And when in meditation, when one gets connected with that divine consciousness, then one gets an inward protection. That is why we say that one should meditate every day, to have that inward protection, to have that protective aura within us, that no negativity can even come near to us. And he said that there is no power greater than inward protection. So, Yogananda, after listening to these words from his master Swami Shri Yukteswarji with deep concentration, he said that, Guruji, then why do you want me to still wear an astrological armband when you know that, through meditation we get that inward protection? Then why do you still want me to get that armband? And then Swami Shri Yukteswarji very beautifully again he replied that just like a traveler who is going to his destination, he makes use of a map. We have the map, or even when we use a car, we have that GPS navigation system. We use that to make use of any shortcuts that may be there in the route. So, so this map or this GPS system helps us in providing us the guidance or take advantage of any short routes. So in the similar manner, he said that our ancient saints and rishis, they too have discovered certain ways to skillfully adjust certain features in the law of karma. And so he said that one should use the astrological gemstones. And he said that these gemstones are pure metals and they emit an astral light, which is very powerful in counteracting against the negative pulls of the planet. You know, you must have seen people wearing so many gemstones in their fingers. And for each planet, we have a specific gemstone. And this gemstone, it helps in, you know, in keeping at bay the negative effects of that planet. So in this way, Swami Sri Yukteswar, he laid emphasis on astrology. And he said to Yogananda that soon the planets and the stars will, you know, take an unfriendly turn towards you. And just in a month's time, your liver will start giving you a lot of trouble. And this illness is scheduled to be lasting for 6 months. But by the use of this astrological armband, your illness will be shortened to a period of 24 days. So what Swami Sri Yukteswarji is saying that, you know, since we know that Swami Sri Yukteswarji is already, you know, he's always aware of the past, present, and future with accurate precision of any person. And now he's warning Yogananda that, you know, just after a month's time, your liver will give you a lot of pain, a lot of problem. And this pain is scheduled to last for 6 months according to your karmic account. But if you use an astrological armband, then this illness, the duration of this illness, it can be reduced from 6 months to just 24 days. And then Yogananda said that he will abide by his guru's words, and then he got an armband the very next day. And Yogananda's health was, you know, in perfect condition at that time. He was not having any problem with his liver or whatsoever. And exactly after a month's time, as predicted by Swami Sri Yukteswarji, Yogananda, he experienced severe pain in the place where his liver was. And it was excruciating pain. And 23 days had already passed, you know, Yogananda enduring this excruciating pain. And on the 24th day, he went to his Guru Swami Sri Yukteswar and he said that now this pain is so unbearable, I cannot endure it anymore. And Swami Sri Yukteswar, on seeing Yogananda, said that you must have come for your liver disorder, and I know that you have already been ailing for 24 days. And Yogananda said that yes, I am in severe pain. And Sri Yukteswar, on hearing this, said, you say that you have pain, but I say that you have none. And at that very moment, the excruciating pain of that Yogananda was enduring, it just got vanished. And this was the 24th day. And Yogananda, he knelt at the feet of his Guru in gratitude, but Swami Sri Yukteswarji, he prevented him to do so. And Yogananda understood that his Guru wanted him to feel that it was God who had healed him and not his Guru. So friends, then Swami Sri Yukteswarji, he also emphasized on the significance of gemstones. You know, we know that when we go to an astrologer seeking some remedies, then he suggests some gemstones. And we know that these gemstones are pure metals which have been formed over thousands of years, enduring a lot of pressure and compressing over time. And Yogananda ji, he said that for these gemstones to be effective, he gave few tips. So he said that these gemstones should be as faultless as possible. And they should be, that is, they should be very pure as possible. You know, when you see a gemstone, then sometimes you see that a thread, you see some thread-like things in the gemstone. So he said that these threads should be avoided and the gemstone should be as pure as possible and it should also be of a certain weight. And he said that these gemstones should not be less than 2 carat, and they should always be worn touching the skin. Because if they don't touch the skin, then how would they be effective in working if they don't touch you? So friends, we have some amazing and wonderful lessons from this chapter, and we also have learned that how the astrological chart or the horoscope, it plays a significant role in everyone's life. But having said that, a horoscope is not everything. I'll just give you an example. So for example, if a person's horoscope says, it indicates that a child will be an extraordinary sportsman, but the child, he doesn't put any effort and he just whiles away his time, then in spite of the planets and stars being in a favorable condition for him to be a sportsman, the absence of will or desire will not yield any result. So astrological charts, they give you a guidance, but your own will, your own determination, your own level of consciousness is also at the same time equally important. And in the absence of this will and determination, you won't lead, you won't have any result despite of whatever your astrological chart is saying. So friends, the life that we are living now, the challenges, the obstacles, the problems that we may be facing in our present life, we know that we only created them in the first place. If not in this life, then in some of the past life. And we also know that God has created our memory in such a way that most of us, we do not remember anything of what we did in our past lives. And we also know that since we have done everything, so we only have to make corrections. We only have to undo what we have done. And this may sound easy, but the good news is that it all becomes easy when we realize our unity with the divine, when we realize that we are nothing but a soul who has been given this body to work out our karma. So friends, I would end this session here today, and I will like to end this session with some beautiful lines that are mentioned in this book, because we often have this question, which we ask, that how do we know if we are making progress in our path? That is, what are the signs that will indicate if we are progressing in our spiritual path? So these lines that I found very touching and I found very helpful from the book, which are that spiritual advancement is not to be measured by one's display of outward powers, but solely by the depth of one's bliss in meditation. So friends, we already, if you remember, we already have learned about Tiger Swami, about perfume saint who had, used God's powers in manifesting miracles in their lives. And they then realized, especially in the case of Tiger Swami, he realized that these outward expressions of power, they were shallow. And they only satisfied his pride, his ego, but it failed to give him any soul satisfaction. And then he realized that that soul satisfaction can only be gained when one communes with the divine in meditation. So even if you are having this question, if you want to know if you are progressing, if you're advancing in the path of your spiritual path, then you should only see how much blissful, how much peaceful, how much happy, joyful you're feeling in your meditation practice. That is a very good sign to decipher this progress. So masters, with this, I close my session for today, and I open this session for you all to do any sharings, or if anything resonated with you, or any experience of your own life that you would like to share You're most welcome to do so, Masters.
Namaste, Ruchi. Namaste, Masters.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for one more session. Really very graciously and professionally you have presented. And the moment you started the class, you started asking about the previous session questions and all. I was really shocked, and I was very happy also that I felt I'm sitting back to the school days. Hello, hope my voice is audible.
Yes, we are able to hear you clearly, Sureshji.
Okay. So really enjoyed your session, and in fact, I started attending only from the sixth session. So I went to for the your intro and first, second, and third. So is Swamiji's life history, his travel, about his father, mother, all the details I could able to see. I mean, watch and. I understood, and it's so amazing. And with your words, I could able to just travel. It's I mean, of course, it is persuading me to start reading it. But while listening to this voice, it gives a picture of his travel, that Himalayas and all this. And now there's a short gap between what I heard so far and what I heard last 2 weeks. So that I have to fill up, and really, it's very useful. And thank you so much for the efforts you have taken to, give a presentation of that book chapter wise. Thank you so much, and I'm so obliged to you. Namaste.
Yeah, thank you, Sureshji, so for your kind words, and I'm glad that you are feeling connected to this book, and you're feeling connected to the wisdom that is shared in this book, because that is my sole purpose of doing these sessions. So thank you, Sureshji.
The way in which you got this book, when that French lady told about this, and then I really came to know why you are so passionate about this book. And many things I remember seeing. Guru can project his body projecting himself in two bodies. That and all I just remember now. It's an excellent way of communication, and in a very small session you're covering so many chapters. Is really a wonder. Thank you so much indeed. And in fact, in the comment, I given my humble appreciation also in the comment box of that. First I think intro to third or fourth session I have watched and given my comments also, which I just took the snapshot and sent you by WhatsApp. I don't know whether you have seen it. So it's my gratitude. I just expressed in that way. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you so much, Sureshji. And yes, so thank you that you are watching all the videos with so much connected, feeling so connected with it, and you're learning so much. And yes, so keep on watching and we all keep on learning together. That is the sole purpose of these sessions. Thank you, Sureshji.
Thank you. So much of gratitude towards you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Madhaviji.
Hi, Ruchi. Thank you so
Hi,
much for the
Madhavi.
wonderful session. Yeah, as Suresh just now mentioned, I don't want to repeat the same thing because you covered so many chapters in one session. And this is my first class. And I think this was the first book which I got as a present from Madhu to read on. That was, yeah. So, but I was not connected actually. And so many times the sessions were going on and the books were there. I could read a lot of books, but not this one. And now I think I will read on because of your session, because I got some hints and then I got some connectivities and then I can. So in these chapters, when you were explaining, there was one time where you said that like Yogananda and the master of him, I don't recollect the name, but
Swami Shri Yukteswarji.
yeah, Swami Yukteswarji, he was trying to show him that divinity to get unite in the divine itself. So that was where, when you were explaining that, he was trying to show that. Can you highlight it again, once again, that particular topic where you were saying that this guru was trying so much to show him or to guide him in such a way that he can be the divine? And finally, you also said these statements. If you can highlight that on that, it would be great.
Okay, Madhaviji, you have actually asked a very, very pertinent question and a very important one as well. So, because, okay, I'll just tell you a little brief before I actually explain that. Because, when we meditate, there are people who have been meditating for years and years. So sometimes they have this feeling, okay, we have been meditating for years and years, but still we have not experienced the divinity. We have not experienced God. We want to have that experience of God. Who is God? We want to experience that divinity. And then what happens is that, for most of the people, they do not get that experience because they are not yet ready for this experience. The time has not yet ripe for them to have this experience, because the experience of divine is like, just for example, to quote an example, it is like 50,000 volts electric current. But if our body has the capacity to take the electric current of only 50 watts, so we would not be having that experience. So, that is the reason why even Yogananda, he had that experience at the time when it was ripe, when his body was ready enough to contain that experience within him. So, and then when Sri Yukteswar, who was his guru, when he realized that now is the time when Yogananda would be able to take that experience of cosmic consciousness, as I mentioned in one of the sessions, that to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So only when the time is right, only when the disciple is ready, only then and only then he gets that experience. And when Yogananda ji was ready, then Swami Sri Yukteswar, he gave him that experience to realize that divinity within himself, to realize that, yes, he is God, to realize that vastness which transcends all physical limitations. So it's just like when we are outside on the road, then our physical eyes can only see up to a limit. And when we are on a high building which has some 50 floors, then our view is so expanded. We are able to see so much. So this is just to give an example of the vastness of transcending the limitations of physical body. And in that vast experience, Yogananda ji, he was able to also see, which our physical eyes cannot see, like the roots of the trees, the roots of the plants. And even he was able to see the entire city. He was able to see the people and everything that the physical eyes standing at one particular place, they are not able to see, because then when you experience that divine consciousness, you transcend all limits. You transcend what your eyes can see, what your ears can hear, because our ears can only hear up to a certain frequency. And, and we feel that only things which we can touch, which we can feel, which are tangible, we say that only these things exist, but there is a world which exists out there, which goes beyond our physical senses. So Yogananda ji had that divine experience through Swami Sri Yukteswar ji. So did I answer you, Madhavi ji?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Because it was sometimes when you discuss about the things, we will not understand the actual concept. But now when you're saying that the high volt, if I need the divine is the high volt, and if I am, like, for example, 1,000 volt of energy, if I need to receive or to see that also, I need to be prepared for that. So yeah, that's absolutely how, it's a very beautiful how you put it in a simple words, to explain it, because that moment I was really concentratedly listening, but I was just came because I didn't attend the previous classes and I don't know what's going on this background. But I try my best to think about or understand this whole concept, but I was not like. Then I thought that, I mean, this is, yeah, it's really, really a nice way you have put it in the words, and thank you so much. It clarified a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madhaviji, for joining, and I hope that you start reading this book as well,
Yes, I'll
because I
read.
think now the
I'll
time
also
has come
I'll
also for
also
you
listen
to
all
embrace
your
this book.
yes.
And yes, it will be amazing if you simultaneously read this book,
Mhm.
because I don't cover, it's not possible for me to cover every aspect that is mentioned in this book, because this book is grand. Every line, because as I said, that every line in this book has been paraphrased. If I start talking about every line, then it would be a never-ending journey. So I try to just bring forward the essence of the book, and I highly recommend that each one also reads the book simultaneously to have that deeper understanding.
Absolutely. Yes, I will definitely do it. And also I'll attend all the sessions what you were taking from the beginning. I was making sure that, okay, Fridays especially, like making sure that, yes, Madhvi sit, and but because of the timings and all. But I think everything is been recorded. Nilima is recording all the sessions, so I will just see the series then. And thank you so much. It was a very beautiful session.
Thank you, Madhviji. Thank you.
Looks like Sureshji, you wanted to add.
Sorry, Ruchi ji, I had a doubt. I think I can address to Nilima ji also. Both of you can reply. See, I was listening to astrology, and also for the Swamiji, and he has. I think he had the belief, and his life experiences also gives a ray of thinking that it may be correct or it may be true. But according to Patriji, or according to the present Anapanasati meditation system, Rujiji, Nilimaji, what should be a fresher's stand? Whether we have to believe this astrology, or we should depend upon our Anapanasati meditation, because we say that is a guru. So we have to always stick to meditation. So I'm slightly, I have a doubt there, Ruchi ji. If you could, Nilima ji, if you could kindly give a light on that, that would be great indeed. Thank you.
So, Nilima, would you like to answer this?
Yes, it's a beautiful question, Sureshji. So, in my understanding, what I would like to say is one thing that we have to understand, that everything exists. That if one says about astrology, it's a perfect timing that this event has to happen at this time, for sure there's lot of science behind that. We also need to understand the gravitational field. We also need to understand how the planets have been working, before even mentioning Rahu and Ketu, or all these things. There was a great grandeur things that has been happening, that is for sure. However, here, we have been mentioning that you are the creator of every event that is happening in your life. And we are the one who know if there is a difficult situation arises, we know how to get out of it. So when we align with our higher purpose, it is also nothing but that we are all acting on the same plane. So this is what we say, that higher consciousness is nothing but us. So this is one thing that, when we come into meditation, nothing will affect. We understand that, that mind, that thought itself with an intention, everything changes and everything manifests. So even if we think something is not working, but after coming into meditation, we realize that it is the game of the mind that has been portraying. It's not the other forms. And we also realize that everything exists. So before even mentioning that it is not there, Sureshji, or not to believe on that, everything exists and everything works in its own form. But the highest form is to be with ourselves and to be with our higher consciousness, to connect with our higher self. So this is my undertake on this path.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sureshji, for this wonderful question. Yes, and books also, reading lots of books also changes our perception in many ways. So even before, I always felt astrology is not there. It's all something. But after reading all the Vedics and after knowing about the rotation shifts of all the planets and everything, it's a realization even I had recently that everything exists, but we are at the center of everything as well. So it's a greater grandiousness. So you will keep learning throughout the time you progress in meditation as well, Sureshji. So
Thank you
stay
so much.
relaxed and stay tuned.
No, I'm very relaxed, but I take this platform to clear my doubt then and there. And I'm getting the reply like this instantaneously. I think no Google can give with this much clarity. And again, I can come back to you and say if I have any doubts, and then and there. And I go by a belief system, and I trust the words of masters. And so far, it's very clear whatever they said. So it's very useful because I don't want to have any stumbling block in my travel. Of course, I'm so excited also, and I'm getting the benefits. I'm so comfortable and happy in the meditation. Why I just asked this? I have spoken to one of my friends who's doing this anapanasati meditation, and he was telling me that the so-called colors and so-called gems, diamonds, luck, and all this are not applicable to the dhyani, because we are meditators. So it is not applicable. Maybe it's, yeah, as we said, it exists, but it's not applicable to those who are doing dhyanam, and they are connected with the divine, and nothing can touch them. Then I had a silent question, but I haven't uttered it. And I was think I because we are going talking about fifth dimension and all this. So when there are dimensions, then there is a movement of this planets and all, and its impact. Maybe that's the reason this fifth dimension and all people are talking about. So that's the reason, and particularly when your Swamiji like Yogananda, when he has gone through this uh, astrology and all this, then uh, you know just ought to come this type of doubts. So that's the reason I just raised it, and kindly replied to it. Thank you so much. And Ruchi, one more thing, because of your last session only, I was so passionate about understanding about the Swamiji, and gone to those all the videos right from intro to I think third or fourth I have completed. Literally traveled as and when I travel within Chennai now. So much of traffic jam in Chennai. I enjoy watching this life history of, and use your language very simple and very compassionate. So it goes to the soul directly. So I was so excited. Even today I was asking about that today's program, what's the program, and then later it was advised that this is again the continuation of the session. So the series are really exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sureshji, so much. And when you asked this question about astrology, so I would just like to say very precisely that what Swami Shri Yukteswarji is saying is just to have an open mind and not reject things outrightly. So he's saying that one should have a scientific approach and that one should experiment if these things work for them or not. So what your friend is saying, that is his belief. He experimented it didn't work for him, that's his belief. So if you want to have a benefit of something, you need to experiment it for yourself, and you need to see it for yourself whether it holds true for you or not. And when Swami Shri Yukteswarji, he gives this advice to have an astrological armbands, then there's so many other reasons as well why he says these, and these reasons are very subtle. So one reason which I can point out is that, it happens sometimes that the Guru, when he heals his disciples, but he
Yes.
doesn't want the disciples to believe that it is the Guru who is doing the healing, but it is the God who is doing the healing.
Yeah.
And then he advises that, okay, you use these tangible things, because for us as human beings, it is easier to put our faith, it is easier to put our trust, belief in these tangible things, rather than putting our faith, belief, and trust in the invisible God. You're getting me? You understanding
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Yes. So that is also one of the thing that could be a reason, but what exactly is the reason, that only Swami Shri Yukteswarji knows.
Okay, but I'm a little keen to know what's a view or perception of our Patriji about astrology. I haven't gone through any such speeches or reading so far. So you seniors might have heard about this view about astrology, his perception in this uh, thinking on astrology. May I
I
know
think,
what's Patriji's
Suresh,
view?
that part we will know about it later, because also considering the time,
Okay.
yeah, we will know on that on a later part.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
So, Ruchi, I think I have one update before going to the meditation. So, dear friends, again, exciting time. I think most of you all know what is tomorrow. There's no need of mentioning. I have also mentioned today's morning session once again. I'm also mentioning tomorrow is our beloved Guru Patriji's birthday. So on behalf of that, we are at the same time, we were also having enlightenment on no death sessions, which were happening on PSSM Faridabad. So successfully, we have completed 40 days of session. So it's not an easy thing, to invite masters from different places and to get and to speak on PSSM Faridabad, especially on enlightenment on no death. It's not an easy thing at all. So tomorrow is going to be a celebration day. So PSSM Faridabad, in collaboration with Beam and PSSM UK and Agatyar Pyramid, and so we will be having a celebration session tomorrow with Master Pradeep. So, and then we will be having meditation along with the divine being, the crystal. So every one of you has to experience the energies when you meditate with the crystal, friends. So please make sure to be there. And the session starts at 5:30 p.m. Germany time. So we keep updating on the WhatsApp group as well. So stay tuned. Tomorrow is will be really interesting. So I request all of you to join for tomorrow's session and make sure to be part of Patriji's celebrations. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Ruchi.
Okay, so do we have a short meditation, Nilima? Okay, so masters, let's
Yes.
have a short meditation.